Okay. So last class, we were talking about the server-side controllers. We were writing the couple of server-side controllers. We have seen how to pass the parameters uh, dynamically or by hard coding it, by capturing the information, whatever the user has entered the data, capturing the input through Aura ID or attribute or some sobject type. Then passing it to server-side controller and creating the account. So this is what we have seen. This is a single account record creation. Today, we will see a next example, how to retrieve or basically multiple records. So far, retrieving the single account and displaying on the page, we have seen last class. But how to retrieve multiple accounts, if I select something or if I search it, let me go back to the Salesforce. So for example, if I search, if I click on all accounts, okay. And as soon as I search here, A, and click enter, it will display the whatever the A is there. So Microsoft. So if I search, if I type anything here, it will display the multiple records. So basically we'll try to do, the first thing is today is how to retrieve multiple records. How to retrieve multiple records from the server side controller and how to display exactly same as whatever we have in the Salesforce. Like in the Salesforce, we have a table structure, everything we have, right? So we'll be talking about pulling the multiple records as well as displaying in different ways. So let me go to the Lightning Component developer console. Okay, let me close all of this. Okay, so till yesterday we were seeing the steps in the server side controller is just one SOQL query by limiting one and returning that record, right? So today we'll write a one Apex class which will retrieve the multiple records. So let me create a new one, 1804, and my class name is get multiple account records or get accounts. And inside that, my method name is public static. It has to be always static, and expected result is multiple records. So that is list of account. And my method name is get accounts. Okay. Now let's write the query string. Let me build the query string. Okay, select ID, comma, name, comma, phone, comma, industry, and rating from account, where name is like. We'll use the like here. Okay, I need a one parameter that should be passed to this method. So that parameter name data type is string, and then I'll use the search string or search text. So whatever the string is passed to this method, I wanted to search here. Okay. So like I need a percentage here slash. Inside this percentage, And then I need to have a search text. Less, then close it. Now let's execute this query, list of account. And here I'm going to take a database dot query, and I'll pass the parameter as query. So I have implemented the dynamic query, and let's return the value account. Okay. So this is a simple logic I have written in order to pull the multiple records. So whatever the name that contains the search text, I'll be passing this search text from the Lightning component. So whatever, if I pass Microsoft, it should be named like a Microsoft. And this query is built. As soon as the query is built, then I'm doing the database.query and then querying it, passing the parameter this string and returning the accounts. Okay, this is my Apex class. In order to call from the Aura, I need to give an annotation, Aura enabled. Okay, now let's go and create a Lightning component. LC 1804 multi-account records, multi-accounts. Click on a submit. So in order to call this method, I have to first use the controller. Okay. Now, as usual, I have to create a Aura attribute and name equal to ACC, type equal to account. Okay. So till now account we have used it for the single record, but here we are going to create a component for the in order to store multiple records. So it's a array, right? So I have to take a type equal to account array. Let's close this and let's use another attribute for searching it. Name equal to st, type equal to string, because search is a string. So I have a two attributes. And let's go ahead and create a lightning card. Lightning card, title, search, account name. This is my title. Inside the lightning card, let's use the lightning layout. Then I have a lightning layout item. Okay. The first one is enter the search text. That is the search I have to enable. So let's use the size equal to 6. So the first one should be the Lightning input. And the label name equal to entered search text. Okay, now where I wanted to store the value that whatever the user has entered, I wanted to store it in string. That is v dot st. Okay, I have a search input is created, that is in the first layout. Okay, now let's create another layout here, layout item. Let's copy this. This is my second layout item. Size is 6. So as soon as the user is entered here, I need a button. Okay, so let's create a button. Lightning button. Label equal to search. On click equal to C dot. Let's call the handle search string or search text. So this is my function. First one is the input, then I have a button. As soon as the button is clicked, I wanted to display the output below. So in order to display the output below, let's take another layout. Okay, so let's put it outside of this. This is the 12 size. Let's take another layout here. Lightning layout. Okay, inside the lightning layout, right now I have a multiple records. If I have a single record, then I used to display directly v.acc.name like this. Maybe here some text and I used to print like this. But right now I have a multiple records that I'm getting from the server side controller. So how to display multiple records if my attributes stores array or attributes has a list or attribute has a set? How to display the values here? So that is Aura iteration. Because I wanted to iterate through each record. And then what is the keyword that I need here? Item. Item equal to what is the data that I wanted to pass? v.acc. Let's declare a variable for this. Okay. So Aura iteration is going to iterate each record. How many ever the records are there, it is going to go through each and individual record. Now let's print. Now let's go ahead and print Lightning layout item size equal to 3. Padding equal to around small. This we have seen. Inside Lightning layout item, Let's go ahead and print the values. Name, what is my variable here? We should not be taking this attribute. We should not be taking the attribute name. We have to take the variable that is declared here. So this is my data that is passing it. But inside this, I have the value that I have declared. There is a one variable declared. In order to use individual record, I have to use the A. It's kind of in the in Salesforce, in Apex, A contains the list. Okay. But in order to check line by line, I'm declaring here, I have to use the place dot name or place dot rating. I have to use this keyword. What are the variable that I declared inside the for loop, I have to use. So same for Aura iteration. Aura iteration, we are declaring a variable in order to know each individual record. So I have to use a dot name. Let's put the break. Phone number. It's case sensitive, use the exact API field name and then industry. A dot industry. Okay. Attribute item.
Items.
Okay. So this is the component that we have created to whatever I'm getting the array, I'm just printing the data here. Okay, just to recap yesterday assignment, I just got it something. Okay, so the assignment which I have given is display this value and whatever the user has entered, remove this from here. Okay, so what is the another way that I can do it is I can declare, anyway we are saving this data, right? We are clicking on submit and saving the data. I can use another attribute which is a type called sobject. Or I can declare Aura ID and in the controller take the Aura ID. Instead of attribute, take the Aura ID. So that way we can do it. Instead of attribute declaration, you can use the type sobject. It will be easy to, on the same component, we can remove this and we can use this. But in order to remove this, it has to be attribute. Okay. And as soon as I click on save button, that is a result flag that the data will be there, right? In the result, we are storing the data. So here result is type string. What I can do is result type equal to account, I can take it. So here I can display result.name, result.phone, result.rating. So that's why we can display it. That is the another way instead of multiple attribute declaration. Okay, just thought in my mind. So okay, so coming back to the our scenario is displaying the multiple records here. Okay, here in the component simple steps, one is my search keyword and another one is button, and then I have a Aura iteration. Now let's go to the helper. Let's call the our Apex side controller. Okay, so helper name is, what is this helper? What it is going to do? Search text. Helper search. And what is the parameter that is expected here? Component, comma, event. Okay. What is the step that I need here in order to call 4 steps? Right? Before that step, the Apex controller is expecting the parameter. So let's take that parameter. So from where are we getting that parameter? From the string. Okay. So let's use var search text equal to component dot get v.st. Okay, I have the search text value now. Whatever the user has entered the search text, I'm storing into one variable. Now we'll follow the rule to call the Apex controller, server-side controller. So the first step is calling the method. Let's declare action equal to component dot get. What is my method name? Get accounts. C dot get accounts. Okay. Next step is action dot set params. What is the parameter that is expected? Okay. Search text. What is the parameter? Exactly we have to type search text. This is the parameter. What is the value that I'm going to pass? Dynamic input. Okay. Now I have the set params is ready. Next one is callback. Action dot set callback. This comma function response. Okay. And the next one is enqueue action. $a dot enqueue action. What I have to pass action here. Okay, this is the 4 steps. Now, for the callback, let's get the state first. Where state equal to response dot get state. If state equal to, if my response is successful, then only get the return value. Let's store the return value where result equal to component dot result value is response dot get return value. So the response where I have to show, where I have to store it, I have to store in account because iteration is happening on the account ACC attribute. Let's go ahead and set the component dot set. My attribute name is ACC, comma, the result. Okay. So this is the method to call server-side controller, get the response and store it into the ACC. This is the logic that we have written here. Let's call this helper from the controller. component, comma, event. Helper dot helper search. What is my function name? Handle search text. Okay, so my component is ready. Let's use this component in the application. C column, component name, preview. Okay, I have a search text and here is the search button. Let me type my search. There are two are there. Industry, why it is not coming? Okay, industry is not there. If I say A, okay, these are the one which is coming. So basically wherever the A is there, it is pulling the data. Right? If I say E and click on search. So wherever the E is there, it is pulling it. So the reason is we in the Apex side, the logic that we have written is name, anywhere in the name. If I have a E or A, pull that data. Okay. So it is displaying the data here in the form of boxes. We can do one more thing also. So let's apply the box to styling to this div. So what we can do is we can apply styling. So in order to apply styling, use the div. Okay. And class equal to, let's use some CSS here. Copy this, go to style, dot box. Okay. Now let's apply the border. Let's use 2 pixels solid green. Okay. Okay, now I'm applying the some style to the aura iteration. So if I search something, so it is displaying here. So we have the boxes that is coming up, right? Multiple rows I have not written. What is the problem? Okay, so it is printing only one line. Okay, let me see if I add a multiple rows equal to true. It should print more. If I type A, right. That was, I was worrying it why it was displaying only 4 values here. So basically here we have a multiple rows. Okay. So as soon as I have written the multiple rows equal to true, it returned all the values with the A, wherever the A it contains, it displayed everything. Right. Yes. Okay. So now we see it is displaying the multiple rows. I'm looping through the account, right? I'm looping through the account. and printing the each name, phone number, and industry. But if you look at the standard account, how it is there, it is kind of a table. I have a account name, account site, some billing, phone number, and then type, account owner. And we have some rows here, right? How to implement this data, this table? So in order to use the data table, we have a in the Lightning called Lightning data table. Okay. So for the Lightning data table, column is mandatory. Let me create a new component. Data table. Call the controller. Let's close all of this. Okay, same controller. As usual, like we have created the two attributes, right? Let's create the two attributes. ACC and type should be array. Account array. Or attribute name equal to st, type equal to string. Okay, but for the data table, we need another attribute. Why do we need another attribute? So for example, if we create any Excel sheet or anything which if we created, whether the data is blank or data is there or not, we want this header to be displayed by default. Okay, this header, whatever the header is there, this header has to be there. This is by default, it will not be changing. This data will not change. So in order to build this header, we need another attribute called column. Our attribute name equal to columns and the type should be the list because it has a multiple columns. Right. What to display in the column? As soon as my page load, I wanted to load the table and by default it has to display the column. In order to happen that standard event, we have to use the Aura handle. Aura handler. This we have discussed, I think last class or day before that class. Aura handler is the standard event. As soon as the component is loads, then this event gets called and whatever the logic is written that in that method, it will be automatically displayed on the screen. So Aura handler, the standard name is init. Right, and the value is this. What action should be performed? Handle on load. Okay, let's go to the controller. Okay, now I have to build the column. What are the data that I wanted to display? I have to build the column. So how to build that column? Where columns equal to array. In this array, I have to declare the label. What is my first label? Name, account name. Account name and the field name is name. Type equal to text. Okay. So label is basically, this is exactly same as while creating the field. If you remember, we select the data type, right? First, we will select the data type. What kind of a data type field we wanted to create? Text or long or checkbox, pick list, date or any, what are the data type is there? So that declaration will be declared in the type. So here I'm declaring the text. And then we will give the field name. Field name is nothing but the label. And this is the API name. Label is the standard field name. And this is the API name. So we will not use the API here. That is the keyword that we are going to use is field name. Label, field name, type. Field name, API name, data type. So these are the one which is very mandatory. We have another keywords also in this, like based on that. It's kind of a URL hyperlink. If you want a hyperlink on below the text, or as soon as I click on the checkbox, I do not want the field name or field name to be displayed there. I want some checkbox directly to be displayed. So we have a different kind of a keywords are available which we can use it. If you go to the component library, Lightning Datatable. If you go to the Lightning Datatable example, which will redirect it to component library. Okay, let's go to the documentation. Okay, so this is the different kind of a declaration of the column. Like this, for the first one, we have declared it. We use the label, field name, which is the API name, and the type is text. There is another way of declaration is label, my API name, type, %, and then cell attribute and icon position. Like we want some icon to be displayed right side of this label. Okay, and the icon field name is trend icon. So same thing for amount. Amount, I wanted to display the currency, the symbol I wanted to display, or I wanted to display some kind of a EU or something. So different ways we can declare it. If you go to the specification column, array of the column object that is used to define the data types. Required properties include the label, data key, and type. The default type is text. In case if I do not declare the type, the default it is going to take it as a text. Okay, so for now I'm going to use account name and account phone number. If you want a phone symbol, you can use the phone symbol by using the cell attribute. Because this is the column inside the one box, that is called as a cell. Inside that cell, you wanted to fit some symbol into that. So which is, if you wanted to do that kind of a thing, if the requirement says like that, then you have to use the cell attribute. Then label account industry, and then account rating. Let's change the API name here, phone, industry, and then rating. And it has to be comma separated between the each label. Now I have the column ready. I want it, let's go ahead and set this column into our attribute. Component dot set. What is my attribute name? Columns. V dot columns, comma, whatever I have declared here. Fourth line. Field name. Has to be comma separated. Comma is missing. Let's save. Okay, so right now I have a column that is declared, and I'm setting back to the columns attribute, which is a list attribute. Okay. Now I have an event file that I have declared it. Okay, let's go ahead and declare the lightning card. Lightning card. Inside this lightning card, let's use the aura set. And the attribute equal to title. Okay, now let's go ahead and declare the lightning layout. Inside the lightning layout, we have to declare the lightning layout item. And the size equal to 2. What we want here, we want the search text. Lightning input label equal to enter search text. Value. Where is my value that I'm going to store? ST. Okay. Now I have the input search text. I need a button. Let's copy this. And then I'll use the button. Lightning button. label search. And then on click of the search button, I wanted to call handle search. Okay. The only difference between this component and the previous one is going to be here I use the aura iteration. Okay. It displays line by line. So each field will be displayed line by line. Here the plan is to display in the table format. So in order to display in the table format, let's use Lightning Datatable. Lightning Datatable standard required field is key field. This is required. For other, if you use it, do not use it, doesn't matter. But we have to always use the key field for the data table because this is required for better performance. Associate each row with a unique ID. You can declare the key field any string, like I can use ID. And what is the data that I have to pass here? I need to pass the array or list or set. So right now I have here v.acc and column. I have a column that are declared. v.columns. Now I have to implement the another function. Same parameter. So same steps that I have used in the aura iteration. What I was doing, I was calling the helper method here, and I have to. The logic is same between this and that, but the view is different. Whatever the user is able to view is the different style. So same thing I copied over here. Let's save the controller, save the helper. Now let me use the component in the app. C column, update preview. See, by default, it is displaying the account name, account phone number, and account industry and account rating. What happened to this? Why it is like this? What happened to my size? I have used very less. Okay, now let's refresh. Okay, now if I type and click on a search button, Why it is not displaying it? ST, is it breaking somewhere? Console, search, nothing is happening. I'm calling the helper dot. Yes. Debugger. Let's debug this. Search, handle search, C dot. Okay. So as soon as I click on this, it displayed exactly same as the Salesforce. So like we have a Salesforce, it is displaying it. Now, if you want a hyperlink, you have to use here hyperlink. While declaring when you are getting the data, after getting the data, you have to declare the hyperlink here. In case if you do not want these checkboxes, right now we have checkboxes. I can select multiple checkboxes. In case if you do not want the checkboxes, we have to use the hide checkbox column. Equal to false. Let's refresh. Search. It did not work. Let's refresh. A search. Why it did not work? Lightning table hide checkbox column. Hide or display the checkbox column row section. To hide the checkbox column, set the hide checkbox to true. By default, it will be false. Now let's refresh. Search some text. Okay. So if we do not want to display the checkbox, we have to use the hide checkbox column equal to true. And same way, if we wanted to sort, right now it is displaying based on the data, the way how the data is retrieved, the same way it is displaying. In case if you want a sort order, by default, we wanted to take it as a sort order. Okay, here we do not have an option to sort it. Data table, if you use the lightning colon data table, it will by default shows this wrap text or clip text. But it does not show you the sorting order. If you click on it also, it will not show you the sorting order. Here we have a sort order. Okay, in order to do that, we have here sort by. So you have to specify the sorting direction, ascending or descending. Specify the sorting direction, sort the data using a onsort event handler. Valid option, ascending or descending. Sort by equal to ascending. Let's refresh. Search. It did not apply. oh sorry, sorted direction. Usually it should give. Why it is not giving the data? Okay, so I have to see why it is not displaying. Maybe tomorrow class I'll show you that how to sort this. But ideally, in order to sort this, two ways we can do it. Okay, once I get the response, I have to say which field name I wanted to be sorted. Like here it is displaying a sort. The icon is displaying it. So the same way, once the output is I got it, I have to declare the field, the sorting icon that I wanted to display it, right? So the field I have to mention to the sort by. And then sort direction, it has to be there. Maybe we'll see tomorrow this sort by sort direction along with the other topic.